there's fundamentally there's three main drivers for IT asset management, and it's irrespective of what form of asset management. One is the funding issue. You need to save money. You need to minimize the amount of money that you're spending. The other one is information data security. You don't want any data leaks. You need to secure those, and you can't secure those unless you know where your vulnerabilities are. And to do that, you have to know what software and hardware you're running. And then the final one, not as obvious to a lot of people, that ability to provide that service. And most organizations will have, of those three priorities, will have an overriding priority, and the other two are tangential, because you can do two. Most organizations can manage two things at once, but the third thing goes out the window. And of those two things, one will be a higher priority in the majority of cases. And you need to understand the organization that you are working with. What is the highest priority? And that is often not necessarily what is communicated to you. The number of IT asset managers who I've spoken to have said, "Oh, we've got to save money. We've got to be really restrictive about what assets we give out." And they work for a law firm, or they work for, in the finance industry. They're being told it's about money, but actually, no, it's going to be about customer service. It's going to be about being agile, being able to be responsive to the needs of business and to the needs of the people who are actually the money makers and bringing the money in. If you try and clamp down and say, no, you can't have that piece of software because it's too expensive, then all you're going to do is build up resentment, and eventually you're going to lose your job. Even though people are saying, you've got to save money, actually, you need to think about the bigger picture.